every crowd?
I believe you should use all four.
Okay, okay. I don't disagree with that. Anybody else? Okay. So is there anybody in here who believes that you could only use positive reinforcement? That you should only ever use positive reinforcement? Never use what we call, and I hate to use this term, but let's say never use traditional training, let's say that. Because negative reinforcement has a connotation that actually isn't accurate for the most part. Okay, so I was a huge skeptic. That's why I asked about the skeptics in the crowd, because the biggest skeptics usually make the greatest converts, okay? So thanks for coming. I'm Melissa Deal. The name of my business is Victory Lane Dressage, but clearly I do a lot of other things other than dressage that just happened to be what we named the business, 20 years ago or whatever it was. So I thank you for coming out on this brisk cold day and packing in this tiny little room. And we'll have some time for questions and some activities and stuff like that at the end, and I'm going to try to move fast because I know you're cold. Okay, so if I'm talking too fast, definitely slow me down. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I do want you to feel free to answer out loud. Is there anybody in here who thinks that horse training of any kind is easy? All right, I would agree with that. This is, in many ways, easy. It is super effective, right? But it's not a magic pill. It's not a one and done, right? So what generally happens with this kind of training is you start it and it's going great and it's like magic, and like anything else, there's ups and downs. I mean, horses are variable just like humans, and so it's not always an uphill slope in any kind of horse training. So I think that's really important to be realistic when you think about that. Who would like to get their horse to say yes and love what to do, and have the horse love doing what you're asking it to do? All right, super. Me too, right? Me too. So does anybody know, can you tell me, like 5 things that horses intrinsically or instinctually value? Food. Friends, the herd. Yep, what else?
Water.
Okay, that's in the resource area with food. Freedom. That's the one. I've got 5 in my mind. They're all F. Food, friends, freedom of choice or freedom to move. What else?
No. Familiarity.
Familiarity of environment is super important. Super important. So when you'll hear me talk about change of context, and what I'm talking about there is change of environment. Okay, and that could be 10 feet or 10 miles or 100 miles. So that's really important to them, much more important than we usually give them credit for. And then the last thing that we very often forget is fun. They love to play, right? They really do. And so if we can put an element of play and an element of all of these 5 things into our training process, it really is a game changer. And that's what we're going to try to do with positive reinforcement. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So thank you for filling out your questionnaire. And the reason I had you do that is because I think before you go down a road that's non-traditional, it's important to have the mindset to understand that there are going to be people who are critical, and there are going to be people who don't embrace it, and there are going to be people who question it, and you will question what you do yourself, no matter what kind of horse training technique that you use. There's days where you're like, wow, is this really what I need to be doing? So I think it's important that you consider those things before you embark on a new journey. So today we're going to talk about how to get your horse to say yes and have your horse love saying yes.